Okay, so let's take this on the top. This is going to be the Cliff Notes version for YouTube.
Yeah. They're in the middle.
So right now, like our team, the play our team's trying to make is we're trying to hold the inside of this building. What's going to happen is that these doors are going to get blocked by the circle, right? There's 4 other squads remaining, and so our goal, right, is to use the caustic gas to hold down this building where he's, strongest, and wind up inside this little sliver of the building that's still available before using the Wraith portal to get out. What that's going to do is it's going to force all 4 other squads to fight out here, and we're going to be able to watch the kill feed to decide when the best time to attack is, right? So that's like the plan, so to speak. You'll see in a moment, right? Happens a few seconds after this.
Oh, that fight to the left is getting a little bit close.
Right about here. So teammate is like just about to, yeah, here you go. So I was in this moment here where I made my first error, like in this clip, right? Like, which is that like right now, I remember I had the thought they might both play through the door, and I'm going to have to follow them, even though we have this plan that I think is better. They're about to do something different, right? And Lifty turns around, right? So he has like the presence of mind to turn around, but this guy is like just a rando third. And so even though I like communicated to him like what the plan is, like a lot less guarantee that he's like going to sort of follow and like be a good teammate. And so right now, the thing that needs to be done is we need to follow him, right? Like all 3 of us need to fight together to get rid of these guys, right? Because if we let him like go out on his own, he dies, and we just lose our caustic for free. It's just like, and it's like preventable. So this is again like a prime example of there's the plan, and then there's what needs to be what needs to happen, right? And so this is like a really classic error for me, one that I really struggle with. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna push this. Yeah. So you wind up holding this position here, right?
Yes. Our teammate went out.
I know. Our next error is actually going to be
how are we gonna get out of here, Zach?
When we make the portal play, right? So I'm gonna place the portal like up here on like the roof to give us high ground, right? Definitely like nice to like have like high ground for sure. Always like to have that. However, there are a lot of factors that actually would have indicate that like it would have been better to place the portal down on the ground. First, teammate is knocked, so that's like got to be priority 1, right? This like is like practically like the perfect res that could happen, right? Is like that portal takes him into a spot like where the enemies basically can't hit us anymore, and we just get to res him for free. He can slow heal even if he wants to conserve big heals, and then like we can play through the portal again to enter. So I think that was like the first problem, was that like I didn't port to revive him. Even if we weren't going to revive him and said like screw him, right? Like this bridge here, this straightaway bridge, in the absence of a caustic ult to like sort of screen our approach or anything like that, like it is very hard for our squad composition to get across this, right? And so like if we didn't grab caustic, then I think the portal should have ended over here, right? Like this play here was like, this was like the idea that I had several minutes ago, right? Of like how I wanted this to go. And like we don't have caustic, like if we don't have caustic anymore, right, for whatever reason, then we can't really play from this high ground. This high ground like isn't as useful. Potentially like you could have done something here cheeky with the rocks maybe. But yeah, so that's like the next error is this portal placement. This portal placement needed to either revive the caustic or compensate for the fact that we don't have him. The rest of this is like going to be like a lot of like micro errors in terms of like just very strict execution stuff. So I've been like using this piece of cover like a lot, right? Like this little nub here. It's not really that big of a deal for me to like switch like over to the other side, this other nub here. And so I probably should have done that because I've peaked this particular little nub here like 2 or 3 times, making me very predictable. So although my target hitbox is like small relative to from the enemy's perspective, it's like keeps showing up at the same spot, so it's like they can pre-aim me, right? So you can see like this person like with the hemlock, right, is like just basically just going to town on me because they've seen my head at this little spot here so many times.
Holy hemlock.
Those scuffed, bro.
So that I believe is the next error.
Like when the circle starts, before the circle rotates in. You just gotta stay alive till then. Watch out also.
And then one more second here. Basically, like right here, I completely panic. right? I'm pretty sure that this piece of cover is still like half decent. I could have gotten a sell off, but I like panic and run back and forth,
Yeah, I'm dead.
right? I could have even like queued to like bait everyone else so that like our Bloodhound at least has like a chance to make a play. But like what I did here, I provided absolutely no. So this is the fourth and final error that I make, right? It's just providing no value and going down right here. So this like is like at this point, like, you know, like the situation's already pretty dire for our squad. But it's all about like trying to play as optimally and cleanly as possible and just make it possible, right? Because it's totally possible that if you just like suddenly it just has like a 5,000 gigabrain like fight here, right? And just like absolutely destroys these guys, right? But I give him way less tools to work with as a teammate by just panicking here. So it's all about like playing optimally, even though like, you know, it doesn't seem like it's likely that it will happen. It's like you have to create the opportunity. Like you got to get yourselves on the board somehow. So that basically is it, I believe, for this. So I'm going to switch over to finishing my benchmarks for